Welcome, everyone, to the Dr. Blue Duck podcast. And today I'm going to be talking about my honest first impressions of the Nintendo Switch 2. I have it right here. So I pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch like a lot of you guys did out there. And I thought I was going to get it on the release date. I did not. Target told me it was going to be on that Tuesday, so I was kind of disappointed. I was waiting and waiting and waiting. Then I got a notification that it was actually coming on that Saturday, a few days late from when everyone else got theirs, but nonetheless, I still got the Nintendo Switch 2. But here is the dilemma. My family had a family little fun day planned at Universal Studios Hollywood that day. So I had to decide, was I going to play the Nintendo Switch 2 for the first time on my day off, or take my family to Super Mario World and actually get to walk around in the Mario lands instead of just playing it on my Switch 2. So obviously not a difficult decision for us gaming dads out there who put our families first. And if you are not familiar with the Dr. Blue Duck podcast, this podcast is for gaming dads like you, like me. If you are a gaming dad who believes in putting your family first and knowing how to prioritize our wonderful hobby of gaming, this channel is for you. Or if you need help doing that, this channel is for you. So anyways, I made the decision to go to Super Mario World at Universal Studios Hollywood. And I'll tell you what, we had a blast. It was just amazing. If you've never been to Super Mario World and Universal Studios Hollywood, there's a lot of things you get to do. You can meet characters, and they're pretty legit costumes. You can cosplay or mascots, whatever you want to call them. They're pretty legit. There's Mario. You can meet Luigi, Peach, and sometimes even Toad. So when you get there, they kind of get you, because in order to interact with some of the games in the Super Mario World area, you have to get this little wristband. And of course, my son wanted Luigi, and it's about $40 for a wristband. You get a wristband, and then you can interact with some of the blocks they have. They have like the blocks that you hit, and a coin. You get a coin, it lights up and makes a noise, and that saves onto your account. You take your watch, you go to this like giant iPad, you scan it, and you can see how many digital coins you get. And I think there's like 4 different mini game challenges in that area, and you get these keys. You get enough keys and you can finally unlock a special boss fight, a final boss fight with Bowser Jr. And it's kind of neat because it projects their shadow, or your shadow, whoever's playing, their shadow up onto the wall. And when you move, that shadow moves, and that's how you play the video game. It's your shadow actually in the video game on the screen playing. So we had a pretty good time there. We spent some time walking around, hanging out, letting the kids hit the coins or the blocks to get the points and do all that fun stuff. And we ate at the Toadstool Cafe. The Toadstool Cafe is probably my favorite place to eat at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's supposed to be like this giant mushroom you go into, and there's these like digital windows. So the windows are like screens that show what it would look like if you were really in a giant mushroom restaurant, where you can see the scenery taking place on all sides of the walls. And then I think it's like 15, 20 minutes, Bowser, King Koopa, comes in one of his flying battleships and goes all the way around shooting missiles, the bullets. And you can kind of see that lights dim. There's ominous noise that takes place. And for me, it's neat. But for my 5-year-old and 1-year-old, they're just like all looking around, like super into it. So we did that. We did the studio tour, which was fun because my son got to get over his fear of Jaws. We got him like one of those neat souvenir cups. And we got my little baby boy. He's like almost 2. We got him a Yoshi, a little squish, stuffed animal Yoshi toy, and he was like eating that the whole time. So we did that. Then we rode the Secret Lives of Pets ride, which is kind of a fun family ride we all did together. So I got home. It's like 12:30 at night now. The kids are asleep, and I'm like, here is my chance. I can finally get out this right here, the Nintendo Switch 2. So I get it out and set it up, and then I just wait and wait and wait, fall asleep while it is downloading all of my mini games. So next day, that evening, we went to church that day. That evening, kind of had some free time. So finally, I got to try it out and really see what it was about. So this video is my first real honest impressions of the Nintendo Switch 2. So here it is. Here it is. When I hold the Nintendo Switch 2 in my hands, it feels legit. It feels heavy. It feels expensive. It feels sturdy. It doesn't feel like a child's toy. The original Switch kind of felt more like a child's toy. It felt plasticky. It felt like you could bend it or snap it. I feel like this is like the Nintendo Switch grew up and became an adult. Even the colors are more muted. We have this like black matte color, which just seems more serious. So this feels more like a Steam Deck, if you ever played a Steam Deck, instead of a plasticky kid's toy. It feels like there's might be some type of, I don't know, possibly metal framing underneath this or something. Yeah, it's probably not, but it just feels sturdy. It feels like a good piece of technology in your hand. The screen, man, I love the screen. It looks great. I'm not sad that it's not an OLED. I didn't even notice it. It just looks so good. Playing in handheld in 1080p it's what I want. I want to play handheld 1080p when I'm playing handheld because it looks good. Now, I played some newer games like Mario Kart World, and it looks amazing, docked and undocked in handheld mode. But I did go back and I played the 2016 Doom. And I did a boss fights playing the 2016 Doom. I know that's an older game, but it just did not look that good. I mean, it's an older game. I just was curious to see how it would run. But some of the Mario games, I tried some of the Mario games, some of the older ones, and they looked great still. They really looked good. So it's, and Breath of the Wild looks amazing. So there's some really good looking games on there. Not all of them are going to look amazing. Not everything is just perfect just because it's 1080p. So know that I'm tempted to just want to play more of the games that have been updated for the Switch 2 instead of playing some of the other games. The eShop has been updated as well. The eShop looks and just feels so much better. Prior, the old Nintendo eShop, I almost felt embarrassed for Nintendo every time I logged on to like purchase a game. I almost felt like it was like dial up. It was like embarrassing. It's like just took forever to do anything. And you just had to wait. And I was like, man, is this thing like 20 years old? But the new eShop, it just feels right. It feels good. In docked mode, everything works well too. I tried it out on my gaming monitor just to see how things looked. And I'm like, wow, is this a Switch? Is this a Switch 2? I mean, did Nintendo make this? Because it looks really neat. Now, there has been some criticism online where some people are criticizing the Switch 2, saying it's nothing special. It shouldn't be a Switch 2. It should be called a Switch Pro. And I can kind of see that argument, but what I want to say is I am thankful that they did not add some type of weird gimmick to this. What fans have wanted, what I have wanted since 2020, actually. I was hoping this would come out like 2020, but the OLED came out instead. But what I was wanting was a better Nintendo Switch. I liked everything about the Switch. I just wanted one that had a better screen and played games better. That's really all I wanted. That's really what all us Nintendo fans wanted. We didn't want the next gimmick. We didn't want an extra screen. We didn't want a dual screen. We didn't want something like the Nintendo Wii U. We didn't want something like the Virtual Boy. We didn't want any more gimmicks. We didn't want something like the 3DS. We just wanted a Nintendo Switch that worked as good as Nintendo Switch, but better. And I feel like Nintendo actually delivered here, and they gave us that in the Switch too. So I'm happy, I'm satisfied with that. I feel like Nintendo was being respectful by honoring the wishes of the people who are buying it and the people who are into it. And that is us. Now, the question is, do I recommend the Nintendo Switch 2 for gaming dads? And I'm going to say this is not on par with a PlayStation 5 Pro. I got my PlayStation 5 Pro here. I have this right here, my PlayStation Portal. I can just play this in bed and it looks pretty good and it's pretty neat. But here's the deal. As dads, we travel, we're doing stuff, we're at work sometimes. And this right here, I can bring this, I'm a high school art teacher, I can bring this to my classroom and I can play this during my lunch break when I don't have internet. Well, there's internet, we just don't have access to it. But I can play this on my lunch break, where my PlayStation Portal, I can't. So I do like that point with the Nintendo Switch 2. Now you might be saying, well, why can't you just get a Steam Deck? Well, I had a Steam Deck. I sold it because I wasn't a fan. There's just a bunch of little nuances that I just didn't like. And I just think that just comes with, being a PC gamer versus a console gamer. I'm more of a console gamer just because I don't have the time to figure out everything. Even hooking the Steam Deck to a monitor, hooking it up to a monitor, like the resolution was all off, then you stretch it and then it looks all stretched. Just a bunch of little issues like that. I didn't want to find a workarounds. And you talk to any Steam Decker out there and they're like, well, there's a workaround. You can download this, you can do this, you can hack this. And I'm like, no, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do any of that. I'm a gaming dad. I have time to come home and maybe 15 minutes before bed, I can pick this up in bed and I can play for like maybe 20 minutes until I fall asleep. So that brings me to this point that the Switch 2 is its own thing and I like it. And I think, in my humble opinion here on the Dr. Blue Duck podcast, is that the Nintendo Switch 2 is, I think, currently the best gaming console for dads. I think it's the best for dads for all those reasons. So I want to know your thoughts. What do you guys think? Did you get a Switch 2? Do you think it's the best gaming console for dads like I do? So that's my honest first impressions. I've only played it for a few days now. So it could possibly change. I don't think my opinion is going to change, but it possibly could. So anyways, that is it. Everyone, be kind, use your minds, and game on.